We're going to be talking about some email skills, some sort of basic email skills, focusing today on Gmail as the email app that we're going to use. But Gmail tends to be quite similar to many other email apps in terms of like how you use them. So it's very likely that these skills are transferable in other email programs as well. So if you have like Hotmail, if you have some other form of email, that should work too. So let's just get started. So the first thing I want to talk about is how to download the Gmail app if you don't have it. Now, some of you may use the email app that is that's installed on your phone when you get it, and that's fine. That's totally fine. I would suggest, however, like if you have a Gmail account, sometimes the things that you can do within the Gmail app are a little bit more extensive than what you might do through the email that the client that's installed on your phone. So what I have right here, you'll see on the front page right under Jim's mouth here, that's where the Gmail app is for me. But I want to show you how you would get that on the Play Store if you don't have it yet. Okay, so I'm going to click on the Play Store, which is right down here on the front page, right on Jim's collar. And that's going to take us to the Play Store. Again, if you have an iPhone, this is going to be the App Store. But if you have an Android, it'll be the Play Store. And so you see that Gmail pops right up because I was just practicing looking it up last night. So we're going to click on Gmail to look up the Gmail app. So you see it right there. So if you don't have it on your phone, this button that says open right here will say download. And so just like any app on the Play Store, you'll click on download and wait for it to download. And then this will come up and say open. So we're going to go ahead and open it because I already have it up. So when you open up your Gmail account, I'm going to show you. So I have 3 Gmails that are linked to this. I have my smart one, I have one for Columbia, and I have my personal one. So you can put a number of different Gmail accounts on the app. So it doesn't have to be just one. If you have more than one account for different things, you can put them all on there. I'm going to show you what you will do when you link your Gmail account to the Gmail app. Okay, so here it's going to say add another account. This is what's going to happen when you download the Gmail app. So I'm going to say add a new Google account. See, it's asking me to verify my identity. So however you have it set up on your phone, if you have like a pattern or a code, mine is for right now is my fingerprint. Okay, so when you go ahead and download the Gmail app, this is what's going to pop up. So if you already have a Gmail account, you're going to enter that email, and then you're going to enter your password for it. And then it will link your Gmail account to the app. So then whenever you want to check your Gmail, all you have to do is go into the Gmail app. Or if you don't have a Gmail account and you would like to create one, you can go to create account, and I'm going to say for myself because I'm not trying to manage a business. So I'm just going to show you a test version of this. So I'm putting my name in. This is my birthday. We have no secrets here. Okay, so then I would create a username. So just for the purposes, I'm just going to delete this after the fact. I'm just going to say Tech Talk test account. I'm not actually going to use this. I just want to show you what this will entail. Oh, they won't let me have that. Here, we're just going to do this Tech Talk test 405 because that's what it suggested. Okay, I'm going to make up a password. Just make sure your password is something either you can remember or that you've written down somewhere that you can get back to. So, okay, this is the part that I really want you to see. So when you set up your email account, I know it's hard to remember passwords, and all of us, every single one of us has forgotten the password at some point. The thing that I want you to know is that Gmail makes it actually quite difficult to recover your account unless you have a phone number attached to it. So I would always, always, always recommend when you're setting up a Gmail account to add your phone number to it, because what that means is if you ever forget your password, they can text you a code that will let you reset your password. So any of you that have been in the technology class before that have like had an old Gmail account and then you have trouble getting it back because you can't remember the password, this is the way to get around that. So if you have it attached to your cell phone, that can be really, really helpful. So I'm going to say yes, add a phone number. And the phone number I added was by default, it was my cell phone number. And then it's going to send you through all these privacy terms and stuff like that and just say agree. I think Gmail, I'm not in any way an expert on this, but Gmail tends to be pretty secure. I sort of trust it, like it's privacy functions and stuff like that. I think one of the reasons why it's so hard to get your account back if you've lost your password is because they're really trying to protect your information. Okay, so I would go in and say I agree. And so this is just putting my account into Gmail. Okay, so now if I go here, I'll see Tech Talk 405 is one of my accounts. All right, so I just wanted to show you how to set that up, either if you already have a Gmail or if you'd like to make one, okay? But for our purposes, for just playing around in Gmail a little bit, we're gonna go into my personal Gmail account because it's easier to work with because there's already emails in there. Okay, so what I want to show you, I'm gonna practice just for right now. I'm gonna do first, I'm gonna write an email, okay? So when you look on your screen, you'll see this thing right here that says compose. That's how you start a new email. So if you're not responding to anybody, if I just decide, oh, I wanna say hi to, someone, I'm gonna hit that button compose, okay? And you'll see at the very top, it says from. So this shows you what email address it's coming from. This is coming from my personal email address. And I'm gonna start entering who I want to send it to. And actually I'm gonna send it to myself, but I'm gonna send it to my Smart University address, which is a different email address. It still goes to me, okay? And I'm gonna say, the subject is the thing that you're gonna see when you open your email, that first line. So make it something that makes it clear what the email is about. So I'm gonna say Tech Talk test email. Oops. Okay, and then I'm just gonna say, hi, this is a test. So when you go into this larger box, that's where the text of your email is. So when someone opens the email, this is what they're gonna see. This is sort of like the body of your letter. So I'm gonna say, this is not very formal, obviously, but I'm gonna say, hi, this is a test. All right. And once I've done that, that's my whole email. Obviously, you can write a lot more, you can do a lot of other things, but this is just like a real basic one. You see that arrow up in the top corner right here? That's how we send it. That's kind of like the little paper airplane that you're like throwing out into the world. Well, not the world, throwing towards the person you're sending it to. So once you've got everything together, you're gonna hit that and then look at the bottom, it'll say sent. And you have like a couple seconds to hit that undo button. If you realize you just sent something and then you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't mean to send that, you can hit that undo button. It only lasts a couple seconds, so you have to know real quick that you didn't mean to send it. But you do have that little tiny window of opportunity to undo a send. So that's how you write an email. You go to compose, write who you want to send it to, write the subject, and then write the body. And right here, you see my name is at the bottom. I've made a signature in here, and we'll talk about how to do that in a later session. So that means every time that I send something, I don't have to put my name at the bottom because I've already made it so it automatically has my name at the bottom, like I'm signing off on it. And you can make that signature whatever you want. It could be like, sincerely Francis, or however you want to do it. Okay, so that's how you just send a basic text email. So I want to show you too how to manage some of the emails in your inbox. So what we're looking at right now is my inbox. And you'll see I have a number of different things in here. None of them are super personal. They're just stuff. And what I want to do is sort of manage which ones I need to have in my inbox and which ones I can probably sort of have somewhere else or delete. A lot of people, when you go into like their email, you'll see like you have like 6,000 emails. A lot of people have that. And that's fine, you know, I mean, if that's the way you manage your emails, that's totally fine. But if you want to get it down to a more reasonable sort of number, or you want to get rid of some of the things you're never going to look at again, this is how you do it. And this can be helpful, especially if you find yourself in a situation where you can't find emails all the time because you have so many. So let's just go in and practice some of these. Okay, so we're going to look at this. You see this first email on here, it's Society 6. It's just like a sales email. Okay, so let's look at this. So newest flash sale, I'm looking at it, I'm like, I don't want to buy anything from Society 6 right now. So I have a couple of options. So look up here at the top. So you see the arrow that goes back, but then you see right here, there's a little icon that looks like a folder and it has like a downward arrow on it. What that does is this archives this. And what archiving means is that this will put this email into an archival folder, which basically means you're never going to see it again unless you go searching for it. So for any emails that I'm thinking like, you know, I don't really need this right now, but it's possible that someday in the future I might need this information, it's smart to archive those because then you can go in and search for them. So say somebody sent you like, I don't know, a recipe or something, and you're like, I don't really want to make this right now, but one day I might want to make this. You can archive it, and then if you want to go back and search by what the recipe is, it'll come up still. So you're not deleting it forever. What you're doing is archiving it, so it's out of your inbox. It's in a different, it's sort of stored in a different place where you don't have to deal with it unless you're actually going to look for it. So that's what this little box, the file with the downward arrow on it is. So that's archive. The one next to it is pretty recognizable. So that's trash. So if I'm just like, you know, I don't need this. This is sales. I'm not going to buy it. I can send it to trash. And you still have like, the trash still stays in there for, it depends on your phone settings, how long it's in there for. But it's still in a folder for a little while. You can go in and empty out your trash right now. It's like if you want to trash something, that means it's on its way out the door. It's like if you put it in the trash can for a little while, you could take it out of the trash can if you wanted to, but once they haul the trash off, it's gone. So that's another option, and it's more permanent, or it has the potential to be much more permanent than archiving. And then that third one is kind of funny. So this third one that looks like an envelope, if I do that, let me show you this. What it'll do is it'll highlight that email back in my inbox as if I'd never read it. So like if I think this is really important and I actually want to look at it more so later, I can do that. That's just sending it back to my inbox and marking it as unread, which is pretending like I never saw it at all so that I can see it with fresh eyes later. I don't use that one very much at all. Usually when I'm looking at something, I have a sense of what I want to do with it. So this one, you know, it's an ad. I'm not, you know, it's time sensitive too. They're having some sort of sale. I don't really need it. I don't really want to buy anything. So I'm going to go ahead and delete it. There, you see at the bottom, it says delete. And again, you have a second to undo it if you change your mind. And that's always nice because everybody, you know, sometimes you accidentally hit something. I've done it a lot. But a lot of what I do, honestly, me personally, and everybody's different about this, I do a lot of archiving. And the reason I do that is because I just think sometimes that, you know, I might need information later. And sometimes I do. It has proven itself helpful. I don't necessarily do that for sales emails or marketing emails, but let's look at this one that's 2 down. What this is information about submitting poetry to a magazine, because I do that sometimes. Okay, so this is about a poetry magazine called Meridian. And so maybe I think, you know, I don't really have anything to send to them right now, but I might in the future. So if that's the case, I might archive this. So again, we're going to go to this one that looks like the file with the down arrow. And that sends it to my folder that's archives. And to look at that folder, if I wanted to go back and say, oh, let me look at that again, I'm going to go to this place with the 3 lines where it says search in mail. So click on those 3 lines. And this is going to show me all my different things. Actually, I'm not going to go to that for this. I'm just going to search for Meridian. So let's say, okay, I archived it, but then I'm like, oh, let me go back and look at that. I remember that I got this email from Meridian. So I'm going to search. And look, it pops right up. So I archived it. I don't have to look at it otherwise, but if I do want to look at it later on, if I want to find it, I just go up there and search for it. And, you know, if you have like gotten, you know, an email from somebody that was like their phone number or something, or they sent you information and their name was, you know, John, you could look up the name John, and every email that has John on it will come up. So like if you don't know how to filter down an email any other way, you know you've gotten this email in the past, look that up and you should be able to find it. It might be kind of a clunky process, but you should be able to find it that way. So it's good to have that as like a searchable thing for any email that you might want sometime down the road. Another thing that is good to know about your Gmail account is, and we'll talk about this more too, is actually the 3 buttons where I went, that's where your folders are. So if you are trying to organize, if you're somebody who really likes to have all your emails kind of organized into categories, like if you have some from your, like your grandkids, and then you have some that are from Macy's and some that are from like some promotional thing, and you want to save them all in different folders, we'll talk about how to do that. Google automatically comes with 3 sort of kind of buckets of emails it puts things in. So your primary inbox, which is what we've been looking at. So most of the stuff that goes into there will be like stuff that maybe like I send you, or stuff that a person sends you, like it's just person-to-person email. Social is generally, so if you click on that one that says social here, you see that in the side where there's like the little 2 people. I don't think I have anything in my social one, but what that generally is updates from things like Facebook, Instagram, all of your social media sites. So if you have those set up to send you emails when you get information, like when somebody responds to something, that's where all that'll go. So it sort of filters that out into its own category automatically. And then promotions. So full disclosure, that Society 6 email was actually originally in my promotions folder, and I pulled it up into my inbox just to show it to you. But promotions, what you'll find there, you can see on mine, a whole bunch of it has to do with the election. So it's anything that's like a mass email. So all of this stuff about the election, things that are about sales, all of that usually will automatically go into promotions. You might sometimes get, you probably don't get many smart emails in promotions. Those probably come to you through your inbox. But if we ever like send it to like a large group of people, every now and then they'll come in through promotions. And so check that. I mean, I check that all the time. And honestly, like there's a lot of things in there that I just delete, but every now and then something will come into promotions that I really want to see. I get this thing, actually, this is one that I open all the time. This second one from the top, that's poem a day. I'm like showing off my poetry side this time, but like I get a poem every day and I usually read those, and sometimes I save them and sometimes I delete them and sometimes I archive them. But those I go into my promotions and open. So promotions isn't just junk. It's a lot of, it's just about anything that's sent to a whole bunch of people at once. And by a whole bunch, I mean more than just like the number of women at SMART. It's usually like hundreds. So that's another thing to look out for. So when you're checking your email, go ahead and check all 3 of those places. So if you have Gmail, check in primary. That's probably where most of your stuff is going to be. But make sure too you check in social, especially if you want to see if there's been any activity on like your Facebook page. And if you have emails set up to send to you from your Facebook page, and then check in promotions. Maybe there's a sale, you know, maybe there is something that is helpful there. But I would just say, you know, try and, if you're trying to get your inbox down to like a manageable number, just check those out every day or two, you know, and then just delete or archive what it is you don't think that you're going to look at right now. And then save the things that you really are going to look at, so that they're easier to find for you. How can we delete an email forever? That is a very good question. Okay, so let's see this Bed Bath & Beyond email. Okay, let me just pull this up. Let me just say, you know, this is actually an ad. So I'm going to delete this. All right, so I went in and deleted it. And then if I go to, see these 3 dots again up at the top? Sorry. So I'm going to go to those 3 dots again, and I'm going to go to my trash. Okay. And you see, actually, I think that, let's look at my Society6 email, okay? Because I think the other one was an ad. But okay, let's look at the Society6 email. I'm going to go in here. So it's in the trash, but it's still sitting there. So what I want to do, I'm just going to go ahead and do this. That thing at the top that says empty trash now. So look, mine is set up so that my trash will be automatically deleted after 30 days. So that's when it's deleted forever automatically. But if I'm like, you know, I want to delete these forever, all of this forever right now, I hit that thing that says empty trash now. And it says 99+ conversations will be permanently deleted. So that means forever, okay? I'm okay with that. I'm gonna hit empty. Look at it, 1,851 conversations in that trash. Nothing. So now it's gone. And that's nice because it frees up space in my app. And that way, you know, like, it's like sort of cleaner, you know what I mean? It's like you sort of moved all that stuff out that you know you don't need. So that can be really good. And there is a limit on storage in Gmail. It's pretty high, like, so it's not likely, unless you're getting a lot of like big files in Gmail, that you're gonna like hit your storage limit. But it is, you know, it's nice to free up room. And it's nice to have stuff not floating around if you don't want it there, you know. What is junk mail and why does it happen? So like spam, that sort of thing. You know, that is a good question. Generally, I think one of the things that happens is that there are different sort of like tools that people can use to get people's email addresses and then to send them like ads and stuff like that. So people refer to like junk mail and spam, like even that Society6 ad, that could be considered kind of spam. It's like an ad, but I didn't really, I mean, I bought something from them at some point. So now they have my email address. And one of the things that some companies do is they actually can sell your email addresses to other advertisers. So that's kind of why spam and junk mail happens. One thing that you can do, and what I'm going to do is go to these 3 dots up at the top. And actually, I'm not going to do that for this, but I'll show you, like, if this was spam, if this was something like, I have no idea why I got this, like, this is not something I ever want to get again, I can hit those 3 dots and say report spam. And what that does, I'm not going to do it because it isn't actually spam, but what that does is that sends a message to Google that this is a spam message, this is a junk mail thing, and that you don't want to get it again. And B, it'll keep that from sending it to you again as well. So if you're getting tons of spam and you're like, I don't want this, you can go in there and say report spam for all of this, but make sure you're doing it on real spam, because you don't want to report something that's junk mail that isn't, you know. But that's one way that you can sort of cut down on that. The other thing you can do that's a little less severe is this thing right here that says unsubscribe. So every email like this, everything that's a marketing email or a promotional email is by law required to have a thing at the bottom that says unsubscribe. So if I scrolled all the way down this email, I would see somewhere it would say, yeah, you see that right there? It says unsubscribe Francis E. Wood. So I can either do it like that, or I can click these 3 buttons and say unsubscribe right here, and Gmail will do it for me. So that's good to know too. And you know, it's, if you're not getting like, if it's not something that's like weird spam, then you might as well just go ahead and unsubscribe it. So that can really, really cut down on the number of things you're getting in your inbox, if that's a problem for you. Gmail will send you a warning if you're getting too close to your storage limit. And if that's like, it's unlikely that that will happen because they keep adding free amounts of data to it, but they will send you a limit when you're close. And generally what I would say, the best thing to do to sort of clean out your storage at that point is to delete a whole bunch of old emails, or to go into your archives and see if there's something that you can delete at that point. Thank you so much. Bye, everyone.